What's going on, guys? Welcome into an at-home edition of the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, filming from my brother's library, so you guys enjoy the bookshelves. But on today's show, we're going to talk about the report, the story of the vandalization of FirstEnergy Stadium, as my dog is going to be walking around the camera, so excuse her. So, we've all seen the story, right? That someone drove what originally said was a golf cart, and now the latest details say something differently. So I'm going to recap the timeline that we have established so far and try to piece together Scooby-Doo edition. Who did this? I know one person who used to have the keys to the stadium, Baker Mayfield, and he has not said where he was on the night of Tuesday, so people are talking, and he also said today that the Browns were not his old team, so whatever. But let's talk about the break-in and the vandalization of the field at FirstEnergy Stadium. Ahead of Week 12, Browns are at home against the Bucs. So, the latest report is a security man said that he saw someone park a red truck outside the stadium at about 11:45 p.m. on Tuesday, and then saw said person hop over a fence and enter the stadium. What I found interesting, by the way, was that this security guy saw everything happen, but didn't do anything from what I can gather, which is kind of weird. But 11:45, someone hops over the fence and then goes onto the field. They open a box and get two scarves, which was kind of bizarre. They, by the way, climbed the Southwest Gate. If you're, been to games, you know where that is. To kind of paint a better picture for you. So, takes two scarves from some box, shot to the World Cup, and then they are seen driving a silver Ford F-150. This is probably the most interesting new detail because the early reports were someone drove a golf cart, which at the moment, I was like, I'm calling cap on that because there's no way a golf cart can do that much damage to a field. Now, the Browns have said this was superficial. That was the word they used in terms of describing the damage. It sounds like everything will be fine come Sunday, but I'm guessing it's going to be one of those situations where where they paint over the end zone for a different team and you can kind of tell that the field isn't 100%. That's probably how it's going to look. Sorry, my dog's playing with the little tripod. Silver Ford F-150. That's very different than the golf cart. So, some conflicting stories or conflicting news and rumors on what the suspect used to vandalize the field. Now, the police said that in their surveillance footage, they do see a red truck pull up to the stadium, but they can't make out the license plate number. This is as far as my Scooby-Doo expedition really goes in terms of figuring out who this could be. It did create, we have to admit, some elite jokes. One, once again, the Browns' ground defense could not stop anything. Another team has another great drive on the Browns. I mean, it really teed it up for it. Now, why did someone do this? I really would love to know if it's just someone who is sending a message to the Haslams and to the Browns of we are frustrated with this team having way too much talent to be this bad. They are the best 3-win team in football. Every week in the power rankings, we all just want to put them a little higher because there's no way Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett, and Amari Cooper can formulate a 3-win team come the end of November. So maybe this person, whoever this alleged or, suspect is just sending a message to the Haslams of figure it out. It's probably not going to be well received. We saw Haslam after the first home game get yelled at by a fan as he was leaving the stadium, and then he promptly, someone threw, not someone to yell, they threw a beer can at his direction, maybe even hit him, and he promptly pressed charges against that person. So we got that going for us right there. But speaking of the Browns, this Week 12 matchup against against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Jacoby Brissett, his last start for the Browns this season. If you were to scale on 1 to 10 how Brissett is done, what are you going to put it at? I think for me, Jacoby Brissett this year has been a solid 6.5. Maybe even a 6.8. I'm not going to go 6.9 because that makes it sound too nice. But he has been better than my expectations. The thing that's probably been the most clench your fist frustrating moments are we were not believed, but we all knew going into this that Jacoby Brissett's biggest strength was he's not going to turn the football over. And he's done a good job of protecting the football, but when he's thrown turnovers outside of the Patriots' second play of the game, they've all come in the last couple of minutes of the game at untimely times, right? The Jets one, I don't have an issue with. He's just trying to make a play. But the Chargers in the end zone, you can't have that. The Falcons, similar, trying to make a play. But outside of the turnovers at fortunate times, he's been a pretty solid quarterback. I mean, he has done his job where he has not been the reason this team has lost. No, he has put this team in good positions to win. They've had the ground game. He's thrown for over 200 yards pretty much every game, so he's moved the ball down the field. He's made some nice throws with DPJ and Amari Cooper. But let me know, scale it 1 to 10 to kind of run away that run-on sentence. All right. We are filming at home, like I said, so if this is your first time coming across a video of ours and you're a little confused on what we're doing here, usually my dog is not in the shop, but for Thanksgiving, I'm at my brother's place in Austin, Texas, having a wonderful time. So filming from his second room, and that's kind of Browns content you're looking for, where your creator is going to be getting you guys videos as often as possible, even when they're off the clock. Then make sure to subscribe and hit that big red button. Browns, Bucks, Week 12 coming up here, and it's the last 2 weeks have been must-win for the Browns. So this is without a doubt. I mean, you're 3-7. If you win out, which is a big if, 10-7 should get you in. But you never want to be in a spot where you are back against the wall and you truly are out of games to lose here. Now, the Bucks are an interesting team because they're I don't know if they're fraudulent, because I don't think anyone thinks the Bucks are all that good, actually. But they've won 2 in a row. They're coming off a bye. The Browns against Tom Brady have not had much success. I think Brady's 7-1 against the Browns all time. So for Cleveland, it's going to have to start with going back to your DNA, which is Nick Chubb in the ground game, which has disappeared, especially last week. That was probably Nick Chubb's worst game of his NFL career against the Bills. I know he rushed for less than 2 yards a carry. Was it 14 carries, 19 yards, something like that? That was his lowest average since he became a starter after a couple weeks in the 2018 season. So for the Browns, it's going to be about getting back to that, and this defense, which I think actually has improved the last couple of weeks. I mean, not the Dolphins game, of course, but the Bills game, at least they were competent for the first couple of quarters. And then just Stephon Diggs in the back of the end zone miscommunication was like, well, we're back to where we were week 1, where no one knows their assignment. And how are we still having these issues in double-digit weeks of the NFL season? All right, that's going to do it for us. I'm going to sign off. Going to get ready for USA, England. Spam USA in the chat if you are pulling for our boys over in Qatar. Gonna let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your long Thanksgiving weekend. Hope you guys are having a good Black Friday. See you all on Sunday, if not sooner, for Browns Bucks.